When people look up Disney cruise staterooms, they usually want one of two things. Either they want to know what the room looks like, or they want to know what it feels like to actually live in it for several days. And that is what this video is all about. This is our Disney Magic stateroom. Not as a checklist, not as a sales pitch, and not as a perfectly staged tour, but as a real space we slept in, unpacked in, showered in, and came back to all cruise. And just to set expectations up front, cruise ship cabins on all cruise lines, not just Disney, are typically smaller than a standard hotel room. That's just part of cruising. What matters is how well the room is designed to help you feel comfortable in a smaller space, and whether it still feels calm at the end of the day. The first thing you notice walking in is the layout and the flow. Where do your eyes go? Where do your bags naturally land? And does the room feel like it has places for your things? Or does it feel like everything is going to pile up? For us, one of the big surprises was how quickly the room felt manageable. Not because it was large, but because it was organized in a way that helped us stay organized. And that matters, especially if you're someone who doesn't want to feel like you're living out of a suitcase all week. One thing we appreciated on the Disney Magic was the amount of storage. Drawers, shelves, and places to put things where they actually make sense. There was a lot of drawers here near the entrance of the cabin, just beside the closet, which contained the safe and a place for shoes and sandals. Here again is a separate dresser directly across from the foot of the bed with, again, lots of drawers. And yes, 2 more sets of drawers on either side of the dressing table in the living area of the cabin. If you're someone who likes your room to feel tidy, or if you simply don't want to spend cruising searching for your charger, your sunscreen, or your motion meds, storage makes a huge difference. For us, organizing our things was not an issue at all during this cruise. And that's important, because when a cabin stays organized, it stays calmer and adds to your enjoyment of your cruise. Now let's talk about the bed, because this is one of the most common discussions I see on online forums about Disney cruises. Not just about whether the bed is comfortable, but how easy it is to get in and out of. We did measure the bed height because for shorter guests, and for anyone with knees, hips, or balance concerns, bed height is not a small detail. We measured the bed height at about 29 inches high. In terms of comfort, the mattress felt really good. Not too firm, not too soft. The kind of bed where you don't think about it much, which is exactly what you want on a cruise. Here we see the 13 inches of space directly under the bed where we stored our suitcases during our cruise on the Disney Magic. And the pillow situation was very familiar, like a lot of hotels and cruise lines. Each of us had 2 pillows. One is the usual display pillow in the fancier pillowcase, and it tends to be larger and less soft. That one didn't work for me as a sleeping pillow, so each night I simply moved it over to the sofa cushion and slept with the softer one. Nancy used both and was perfectly happy. That's the real takeaway. You can adjust this room quickly to fit how you actually sleep. Disney's split bathrooms are one of the most helpful features for a lot of couples, even more so when there are more than 2 people staying in a cabin. Having 2 separate spaces means 2 people can get ready without feeling like you're trapped in a tiny bathroom together. But I want to mention something that's easy to miss in the photos. Both bathroom areas had a small step up, about 5 inches from the main floor, and then another small lip inside the end, about half an inch. It's not a big deal, but it is something to be aware of, especially at night when it's dark. And speaking of nighttime, because of where the bathroom wall sat next to my side of the bed, if I got up in the middle of the night, I couldn't walk just straight out. I had to sort of sidestep like a crab until I cleared the wall. It wasn't a problem, especially with both bathrooms just a few steps away from the bed. Just a little funny, real-life cabin layout moment. You only notice that if you've lived in the space. Now, the shower and tub combination is another topic that comes up constantly, especially for older adults. And I agree, tub height matters. We measured it for the exact reason many of you talk about. Stepping over a higher bathtub can be harder as we get older. The tub height measured about 17.5 inches tall. Here's the good news. Our tub had a grab safety bar connected near the soap dish area, and that made getting in and out feel more secure. I will also say that the tub surface felt slippery. Rather than just deal with it, I asked our cabin steward for a rubber bath mat. He brought it later that day, no problem at all, and it made the shower feel much safer. If you're someone who worries about slipping, this is a simple request that can make a big difference to your entire cruise enjoyment. Water temperature was nice and hot, and the shower pressure was very good. Those are small comforts, but they matter when you're living in a space for several days. And one more practical thing. On our cruise, Disney did not provide bars of soap in the bathrooms. It was body wash or hand wash. But when I asked our cabin steward for a bar of soap, it was no problem at all. He provided it quickly. So if you prefer bar soap, just ask. Let's talk about the veranda, because this is where the room turns from a cabin into a little personal retreat. We used the complimentary room service 3 out of the 4 mornings. Sometimes we ate in bed, and once we brought it out into the veranda. And this is one of those simple cruise moments that doesn't photograph like a big deal, but it feels like one. If you just want to sit for 10 minutes with a cup of coffee, if you're someone who likes to watch the ocean for a while, if you like having one spot that's yours, the veranda can be worth it for a feeling, not just for the view. Since we mentioned a few heights in the cabin earlier, let's mention that about the veranda, or the balcony as many refer to it. Accessing the balcony from our cabin required us to 4 3/4-inch rise, and to get back from the balcony into our cabin required us to step over the same rise, but going in this direction required a 5-inch step up. It is not a flat transition like many homes out to the backyard, so just be aware of that. One of the things we really enjoyed about our Disney cruise is the room service and the stateroom service. One of the things we really enjoyed about Disney Cruise Line is the room service and the stateroom service routine. Our room was serviced not only at night, often with a towel, animal, and a couple of chocolates, but also midday. And coming back to a refreshed room, bed made, things reset, made us feel taken care of. And I'll add this comparison because some of you will relate. Disney Vacation Club stays don't have the same daily housekeeping rhythm. On the ship, we really appreciated it. The temperature control in the room was fine, no issues for us. The electrical outlets were sufficient, with one small annoyance. On my side of the bed, the phone on the lower part of the nightstand blocked the electrical outlet. That made charging slightly inconvenient. Also, the outlets by the nightstands worked best and only worked with 2-pronged plugs, not 3-pronged. So be aware of that when packing for your first or your next cruise on the Disney Magic. We used our USB-C cords for our iPhone and Apple Watch charging, and that worked fine. But it's worth noting if you travel with bulkier adapters. As well, here are the available outlets on the dressing table in the living room part of the cabin with its own multiple types of electrical outlets. And one thing I appreciated, 2 nightstands, one on each side. That is a pet peeve of mine in some Disney Vacation Club studios where only one of you gets a nightstand. It's the little things, but they affect comfort and your overall cruise enjoyment. The TV was not perfectly centered straight across from the foot of the bed. It was off slightly to one side. For us, that did not matter. We did not come on a Disney cruise to watch TV in bed for hours. We only watched it early in the morning with our cup of coffee in bed, or late at night after the adult activities or late night dinner seating to which we had been assigned. But I know some guests care about it, so it's worth mentioning. Now here's a big one, especially for first-time cruisers. How quiet was the room at night? Here was the exact location of our cabin as shown on a portion of the ship deck map. We had no hallway noise that disturbed our sleep. We also noticed no engine noise at all, and that's worth mentioning because our cabin was in the aft area of the ship, near where the midship area begins, but still classified as aft. Some people avoid aft cabins because they worry about engine noise. On the Disney Magic, which is an older ship, we noticed none. And on our last night, we did have some ship movement due to a large cold front intercepting our ship's trip back from Mexico, but it did not disturb our sleep at all. So if you're someone who worries about hallway noise, ship rocking, or aft engine noise, our experience in this cabin was calm and comfortable. So, would we stay in this type of cabin again? Yes. Not because it was huge, but because it was comfortable, well-designed, and easy to live in. And that's the real point. Cruise cabins are smaller than hotel rooms. That's just a part of cruising. What you want is a room that still feels calm, still feels organized, still helps you rest. For us, this Disney Magic cabin did exactly that. And if you've sailed on the Disney Magic before, we'd love to hear from you. What did you love about your stateroom? And what surprised you? And if you haven't seen it yet, we also posted a video on quiet and relaxing places around the Disney Magic, because sometimes the most relaxing part of a cruise is simply knowing where to slow down.